What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Critical Overlord here. We're going to be talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer in this video here today, more specifically the revival series, sequel series that's currently shooting out in Los Angeles. We got some fun set photos that have surfaced online over the last couple of days or so on Instagram, Reddit, Twitter. Fans, I assume, are taking these photos. They've been on TikTok, some footage of the cast shooting out there. But we have our first look at Sarah Michelle Gellar back as Buffy Summers for the very first time since Chosen aired all the way back in 2003, I think. So this is a very big moment. So we have our first look at Buffy Summers in New Sunnydale, again, the revival series that's currently shooting in Los Angeles. These photos came out yesterday, and she looks lovely. But her attire has already sparked division, as I'm sure everything about this show that comes out will. We got some other set photos as well, but let's talk about this really quick. Let's talk about Sarah. What's wrong with what she's wearing? Not everyone felt this way. Not everyone took issue with it. Many, me included, loved the look, especially the bag, because it shows us she's probably done very well for herself post Sunnydale. The look isn't a big deal to me because remember, Buffy Summers is supposed to have a day job. She's supposed to be a hot claims rep now for an insurance company. This idea that Buffy would never wear an outfit like this, I find to be very absurd, because if she wouldn't wear this, she damn sure wouldn't rock that raggedy double meat fit. But yet she did. My point being, she's dressed for work. Her slaying style is likely to return when she picks up a stake again. And even if it doesn't be reminiscent of what she wore all those years ago, she's in her 40s now. I wouldn't necessarily expect her to still be rocking the same thing she wore all those years ago. I really don't care about her clothes, if I'm being quite honest. I don't care about her clothes. I just want Buffy Summers to be written well. If I get caught up in her attire and her style, that's one thing. But don't try to mask poor writing for Buffy with bringing back her iconic style that she wore when she was in her late teens, early 20s. No, let's focus on the quality writing. I get the costuming is important too, but she's not going to be wearing the same stuff she wore when she was a young teen in her early 20s. If you recall some initial rumors, you might remember that Buffy has apparently turned her back on slaying. Why she's done that, we don't know. But at some point in this narrative, she will be picking up a stake again. I've speculated we could be exploring Dawn's death, or a mixture of that and a group of Slayers that died under her watch. What if, after Sunnydale was destroyed, Buffy was in Los Angeles during that hectic battle we saw at the end of Angel Season 5? Perhaps her experiences there convinced her to fully chase the normal life we know she's always wanted, since by that point, she had established a nice Slayer army. People like Giles, Andrew, Xander, Willow, Faith were willing to hold it down while she walked away from it. And of course, the Slayers are quite capable themselves, just like Buffy was. They don't need her. Now, killing off Angel and Spike has been done before, so let's say Buffy had to endure something mentally exhausting while she tried to help Angel and Spike restore Los Angeles after Angel Season 5. Slayers have those prophetic dreams, so maybe Wolfram and Hart could have had her in a prophetic loop of sorts, similar to what Cordelia experienced in Angel Season 1. All this, of course, was to keep the Slayer out of their way, but some of these visions could have been so horrific that she decided to just leave this all behind and let the army she's built up carry it on while she chases this normal life. A decision I could see her easily making depending on the severity of what went down in Los Angeles when she had to help Angel and Spike restore it. And it's a decision I can see her making given that she doesn't have the weight of the world on her shoulders anymore. He has always wanted the weight of the world to be off her shoulders. And now if you have an opportunity to walk away from it all after you've gone through a traumatic experience, that's believable to me. It's not that she doesn't slay at all, but that's not her focal point anymore. She has a day job, and if she's doing any slaying, it's in an alley if somebody catches her lacking or thinks they're catching her lacking, because they're not going to catch her off guard. And that's the only type of slaying she's been doing. She's not actively taking down any big bads. She's not overly involved with the Slayer army she left behind. She's just living her best life. And at some point now, 20-something years later, you could reveal that Willow's spell didn't keep activating any potentials. We can reveal that a bunch of them were just activated all at once during Chosen. So the Slayer army could be down to Faith and the newly activated Nova. You could say that over the last 20 years or so, that Slayer army, while it started off strong, a lot of them ended up dying. And we're down to just Nova, who's newly activated, Faith, and Buffy. So while Willow's spell has worn off, the Shadow Men spell lives on. And potentials are in fact still being called. And at some point, Nova will reach out to Buffy for help. That's what I can see going down. I can see Buffy Summers saying, you know what, to hell with all this stuff. If there's something traumatic enough for her to experience, to say, you know what, I'm done. She doesn't have to worry about being the only one to hold it down anymore. She can easily just walk away from it. And she's earned this normal life that she's always wanted. She's earned it. She left it all behind to Faith, the Slayer Army, Willow, Giles, whoever else was willing to take up the mantle. And now, the Slayer Army has been depleted. We're down to her, Faith, and the newly activated Nova. Nova's going to reach out to Buffy for help. And the rest of the story will go from there. We'll see Buffy start to become in love with Slane all over again. We got these other set photos showing off Vampire Weekend. Looks really cool. And looks like Snyder is getting a lot of love too. Nice Easter egg for him. He was a real ass, but at least he had a spine, unlike Principal Flutie. Principal Wood beats them all due to his ties to the Slayer line, but I'm just being biased there. But what do you guys think about all of these photos? What do you think about those ideas about Buffy Summers and how she ended up in this day job? Do you think it would be nice for them to tie it to what happened at the end of Angel Season 5 in some capacity? Because that might be the easiest way for them to address it without having to make it overly complex. Because if you can tie it into Buffy's story, just explain that she ended up coming, that's an easy end for us to find out what happened after Angel went off the air 20-something years ago. I would be down for it, and I wouldn't mind whatever happened in LA with Wolfram and Hart being the reason why Buffy said, you know what, I'm going to secure this normal life for myself. And now, of course, all these years later, the Slayer Army is not at the strength that it once was. It's down to just her, Faith, and this new Slayer, Nova, and this new Slayer will bring something to her table. You know what? I've said they should probably save this for a second season, but if they want to go for the jugular in season 1, I'll be all for it. Give us something monumental that convinces Buffy, okay, I can't sit around anymore. I have to get back involved. Throw in that rogue Slayer I'm thinking of that's an actual vampire Slayer, a Slayer that's been turned into a vampire, but they never wanted the power to begin with. Somebody who was against what Willow did back in 2003. And they've been going around knocking off all these other Slayers ever since they became a vampire. And now they're setting their sights on Faith and Buffy. And of course, the newly activated Nova. So Buffy being aware that somebody is after her, that'll be an easy in for her to say, you know what? Okay, I need to get my ass up. I need to go help this girl, because once they're done with Nova, they're going to come for me. And this person can team up with the other big bad that's supposed to be in the town. Let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications. There's a video in the description. I have links to all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can message me there, of course. Let me know if there are any movies, news, or reviews you'd like me to cover in the future. And with all that in mind, guys, I will see you in the next video.